Okay, so in my last class, I just discussed about different modeling procedures for non. That means different on procedure for boost converter and buck boost converter and buck converter. Okay, so some I just discussed about it. So today I am going to discuss about some transformerized switching converter like flyback converter. Okay, so I give some homework. I give some homework to you that to solve that problem for forward converter. Okay, I think you are doing it in your home. So today I just started. That means right now I'm just going to discuss about some discussions about that flyback converter. Okay, so in case of flyback converter, you know that it's an example of a transformerized switching converter. So you can see over there it is inductor transformer. So especially in flyback converter, that coil is known as inductor transformer. So there are two purpose. One is that transformer operations. Okay, basically that isolations. Okay, gaining effect. Okay, so much more you can going to be amplify that. Much more you can go for that amplify your not amplify means how much gain, means how much boosting up you can go for output voltage in terms of input voltage, that you can decide. So ideally it is written 1 is to n, but practically maximum gain, maximum you can boost up to 10 times of your input voltage. So it's an buck boost converter, but isolated buck boost converter. So flyback is an example of a isolated buck boost converter. So here you can see input side the DC is there. Okay, the switching device, on switching device, here you can observe that MOSFET switch is here, and IG is your input current, and rest of the thing is same like D1 and diode, and it is your capacitor resistance. Okay, so in this case that inductor is behaves like a energy storing element as well as the transformer. Okay, so you here you can observe that I know all of you know about it, that input resistance. So total on time resistance. Okay, on resistance of MOSFET is RD on. Okay, so RD is on. So that you have to that you are considering that. So you can say like that a non ideal flyback converter. In case of ideal flyback or ideal buck boost converter, so you are not considering that ESR. Okay, so is resistance, but here you are going to be consider that equivalent series resistance one. Okay, so that's why it is called that non-ideal flyback converter. So here you can observe that MOSFET has on resistance R1, flyback transformer is there, has magnetizing inductance L and referred to primary. Okay, so that inductor is behaves like a transformer, and that coil is behaves like a inductor as well as the transformer. Okay, that is defined. So then you have to go for two switching equations. Okay, for that two sub intervals, the sub interval 1 and sub interval 2. Two sub intervals are there. Okay, so for that sub interval 1, here you can observe that that coil. Okay, so you can go for that one. So I have already told you, so you can split that coil into two manner. Okay, so ideal cases means inductor are there, then ideal transformer also be there. Okay, so you are just splitting all of them. Okay, you are just splitting all of them, so you can consider like that inductor voltage, so that is appeared across your coil, another same voltage also appeared to your transformer. Okay, so total thing. Okay, so you are distributed like that manner. Okay, so it's also possible. So mutual inductance here, I think it is not been considered. Okay, but what happens, sometimes you can go for that mutual inductance also, you can consider that mutual inductance also. So some studies I observed that just they are considering the mutual inductance LM. Okay, so different order. So if you changing that energy storing elements number, so definitely that order has changed. Okay, if that order has changed, so calculation will be quite complicated. Here you can see that like a converter with transformer equivalent circuit. So transformer circuit also been additionally added. Okay, in this case, sub interval, two sub intervals are there. Okay, when switch is on means R on will be there, RD on. Okay, that means on channel. So MOSFET channel resistance also been considered. So it is written R on. Okay, so your input voltage is VG. Then this diode will be open loop. Okay, so only current will be flowing through this path, means load side current, and source side, that input current is flowing through this inductor, so that energy is stored over here. Okay, and through this path. In sub interval 2, what happened, that MOSFET will be off and diode will be on. So definitely that input current, there will be no input current, so only that inductor current. So that inductor current is flowing through this path, means through this transformer, and that current is reflected to your secondary side. Okay, so turns ratio is 1:n. So how much current will be your secondary side? So voltage by V1 by V2 equal to N1 by N2 equal to I2 by I1. Okay, that's why I by N is there. Okay, and your first time that capacitor is discharged through this load resistance, and second case that capacitor is charged through this energy transfer from your inductor side to your means line side to load side. Okay, so here you can see the capacitor is discharged through this load resistance. In this figure, you can observe that your inductor and inductor is sending to the energy to the capacitor. Okay, through this path. Okay, so that's the issue for in sub interval 1 and sub interval 2 for flyback converter. Now we are going to be much more focused about to write down the equations. Okay, so equations are simple. Okay, so first one, that circuit equation. So what is your VL? So VL you have to find out, because you know that energy storing element is inductor and that capacitor. So two state variables are related to this inductor voltage and capacitor current. That is your IL is your inductor current, and VC is your capacitor voltage. These two are the state variables. Okay, so here you can observe that VL equals to what? VG minus IT. So VL equals to what? The total voltage is VG minus the drop through this path, means through this MOSFET path. So that is IT into R1. Simple thing. What is your IC? That means discharging current from the capacitor. So KVL you can implement. So IC equal to minus VT by R. Simple equations. And IG is your input current. So input current IG equal to IT, first case, and second case IG equal to 0. Here you can see that second case, second interval IG equal to 0. So first interval. So now you are approximated that ripples, means you are neglecting that ripples. Okay, so that approximated value will be come over here. So VL equal to average value of VG with the cycle of time period of TS, then current IT with the time period of TS multiplied with R1. Okay, so simple thing. So IC is there. Okay, so IC is also been calculated in terms of average value. Then input current IG you can also calculate it with the in terms of your inductor current. So that is your I current, it is your IT current. Okay, so MOSFET conducts, so diode will be in reverse bias. The same simple thing is there. So input voltage is your VG and your output voltage is also VT. Okay, so VG and VT both are there. Okay, then we can go for the sub interval. So sub interval, you can see that source voltage is not with your equation. Basically that MOSFET is out of that circuit, only diode is conducting. So MOSFET is off and diode conducts. Okay, so circuit representation, circuit equations is there. VL equal to what? Minus polarity change is there. Okay, dot is there, so that's why it is minus VT by N, so it is reflected to over there. Okay, and IC equal to what? IC equal to minus IT by N minus VT by R. So IN equal to what? IN equal to IC plus I0. Okay, so you can go from this convention. So IC equal to minus IT by N minus VT by R. So IG equal to your input current. Okay, so small ripple approximation is there. Okay, so after that you are averaging all those circuit equation, and finally what you would get from there. So that is our main agenda. So then we can go for that averaged one. So here we can draw that inductor waveform, simple thing. So for DTS means for on period that your inductor voltage is there, so that is Vg minus I into R1. Okay, so that is the slope, that value Vg minus IT into R1. Okay, so ideal in normal cases it is some ramp up. Okay, then it is suddenly drop to that value, then it will be again ramp up in negative slope. Okay, so it is for off period. So it is your on period equation and this is off period equations. Okay, on period equation there is no minus sign. Okay, so you can consider that VL value is positive, but in off period conditions, off period equation VL value is negative. That's why it is goes to the negative minus V by N. Okay, so ramp up and ramp down. Okay, so both are there, but ideal cases I told you that in average cases, not ideal cases, in average cases that dotted line is there due to for the averaging of that equations. Okay, you know all those things that I have already discussed in different converters previously. Okay, so you can observe that the dotted line seems for that average value, it is nearer to the zero value. Okay, nearer to the zero value means it is nearer to the zero value means like that average value tends to zero. Okay, then that inductor current, so it is your inductor voltage, then you can go for inductor current. So you can replace that VL L DIL dt. So DIL dt equal to 1 by L Vt by N. So like that way, this is for off period equations, and on period equation L DIL dt. So DIL dt equal to Vg by T whole divided by L minus It R1 whole divided by L. So like that way. So Vg, you can average directly, you can write this equation after averaging that value. Okay, so it is your expressions for L. Okay, so it is your ramp up, then ramp down. Okay, both are there. Okay, so after that you are going to be average, so dotted line you will get. Okay, it is your IT. Okay, average value over your TS period. Okay, so average inductor voltage. So for on time, so dt is multiplied with your average inductor voltage expression, and d dash t multiplied with your off time average inductor voltage equations. Then you can add both of them. Okay, so hence you can write like that L DIL dt. So equation, so you are going for that inductor current expression. So what happens that L will be divided with the total circuit, total expression, then finally we will get this one. Okay, so IL value, the DIL dt means slope value will get over there. Okay, so then we can go for that capacitor waveform. So capacitor waveform means what? Your first capacitor current is your one of the state variables. Okay, so if the capacitor current is your state variable, so sorry, capacitor voltage is your state variable, so you can go for that expression of your capacitor current first. So you know that expression, capacitor current first expression is minus Vt by R. Okay, so for sub interval 1, so it is your minus Vt by R, so it is coming from negative side, so minus Vt by R over there, then it is I by N minus V by R, so second interval, so it is for negative half, then it is for positive half. So if you consider only the average value, so dotted line will be there. Okay, so it is coming down, so negative, so definitely current capacitor voltage. Okay, so it will be like coming like that in your previous equation. So inductor current is rise up, so definitely capacitor voltage is rise down. Basically first mode is discharging, na, capacitor is discharging and inductor is charging. Okay, so reversing, so it is climbed up, so definitely capacitor will be climbed down from here like that. Reversing also be there, the reversing you are observed over here. So what is the slope? Slope is coming minus Vt averaged by the total TS cycle divided by RC. So how is it coming, that expression? So capacitor current is there, you can write down that C dVc dt. Okay, here C dVc dt. So you have to find out the slope. So dVc dt equal to minus Vt whole divided by R into C. Okay, that left side, left hand side C goes to the denominator of your right hand side. Okay, equations. So directly you are getting this one. So Vt averaged with the time period Ts and divided by Rc1. So it is your minus value. Okay. Then it is your slope down. Then again it will be slope up, like that manner. Okay. So finally you will get that expression from these equations. Okay, IC equation. So you can replace that one. C dVc dt equal to minus It by N minus Vt by R. So dVc dt equal to minus It by Nc minus Vt by Rc. So you will get this one. You'll get these expressions like that manner. Okay, so finally rise then discharging, that means capacitor voltage is discharging, means capacitor is discharging to your load resistance. Okay, then it is again charging. Okay, so two mode, reverse with your inductor current mode from. Then that expressions of capacitor current is there. Okay, average capacitor current expression. So for on time you will multiply that your on time equations of capacitor current plus that off time duty ratio will be multiplied with the off time equations. Okay, hence you can write that to the equation, you just add all of them. Okay, finally you will add them. So Vt Ts by R is common for on time as off time. So if you add both of them, so it will coming with 1. Okay, dt plus d dash t equal to 1. So that's why there is no term of d, but this term consists of t. So you will get that averaged expression. Then input current waveform. Okay, so in case of input current waveform, you can see over there. So what is your input current waveform? So Ig is so it is your input current. So first case you can see that input current expression is It, means it is similar to your inductor current expression. Okay. But second case Ig equals to 0. So here you can observe that It equal to inductor current expression, that is coming from there. Okay, previous equation. Then dotted line seems for that average value, and for on time you are getting that ramp up that inductor current, then suddenly goes to 0 and it will be 0, maintain 0 up to Ts, means full time scale, means full time switching period. So it's your average value. Okay, so you are getting that expression of Ig T over the time period of Ts. Okay, so here you are able to calculate that average input current. So IGT within bracket Ts equal to dt It Ts. Okay, so simple thing. Basically T dash D dash Ts, that expression is 0, so there is no terms of T dash Ts. So only multiply to dt and It. Okay, so that's one. Then you can go for that average converter equations. Okay, so average converter equations. So you have that expression of that capacitor, inductor voltage, capacitor current expressions. Okay, so and your input current. So you can replace all of them, that values with that you have calculated previously. So you have that IC values. Okay, so that you can replace with this equation. So this equation you have written from that previous one, from there you are written. Okay, capacitor current expression. Here you will get that inductor voltage expressions in terms of ALD ILDT over averaged over your time period Ts, that you have replaced over there, that inductor voltage expression in terms of state variables, inductor current. Okay, then Ig you are getting. Okay, now system is non-linear differential equation. Okay, so you know that multiplications of different non-linear terms. Okay, so that's why you can say like that, it's a non-linear differential equation. So next step is perturbation and linearizations. Okay, so simple thing, now we are going to be perturbate. So individual values are there. So Vg will be Vg average over the time period Ts, it will be perturbate with that Vg plus, Vg means steady state value, plus Vg cap T. Okay, so dt also with the same thing, so you can add and perturbate it in this way. So finally all the expressions are there. Okay, Now you have just replaced them, okay, in these equations, all those expressions. So perturbation of the average inductor equations, and finally if you replace them, so for that inductor current, you can see it is a generalized equations. It was a equations for flyback converter, inductor voltage equation in terms of inductor current expression, okay. Then you just replace that I with your I plus it, okay. Then d, okay, then Vg. So all those things you have written over here, replace that value like your previous calculation. So finally multiply them. So I is that steady state value, so dIL dt definitely it should be the constant one, okay. Then you will get the same way. So DC component is there, first one is DC component, then second order AC term but linear component, basically steady state value of that variable multiplied with that small AC variations, okay. So there is no multiplication of two AC component, okay. So only one AC component and the steady state value, that's why you can say like this, it's a linear time variant, but it is linear, okay. So first order AC terms, then you are getting that second order AC terms, so where one of that two cap variable is multiplied, okay. So two cap variables are multiplied and it is your second order AC terms or non-linear, okay. So finally you will get that linearizations of average inductor equations, okay. So now we have to put that values over there. So simple thing, so you have to calculate the DC terms, okay. So here you just put that value equal to 0, so find out that d dash like that way. So okay, so you can get that expressions of d dash and e, okay. So second order term will just small, second order terms are small when the small signal assumption is satisfied, okay. So here the remaining first order terms are like that. So here you can see it is a first order term, okay. So you can put that value equals to you can equate them, you are equating them from here, okay. So it is your first order term, okay. You are equating this term with that second one, and your DC term, why you are making it 0, basically it's an identity, it's an example of identity. Left hand side only AC variable, AC terms are there, okay. DC terms is not there, as well as second order AC terms is not there, so that's why you are using identity. So DC term you are putting it 0 for this one. For AC term your inductor current DIL dt equals to this value will come over there. So you can write like that way, LDIL dt equal to dVg cap minus d dash v cap by n plus Vg plus v by n minus IR1 whole into dt minus dR1 into it. So this is these are linearized inductor equations, inductor current equations, okay. Then you can, if you go for Laplace transformation, then you will usually find out that Is value, okay. Then perturbations of your average capacitor equation. So now you can go for the capacitor equation. So original average equation, you have this on original average equation. Now you are perturbating, and that means replacing all those values, okay, by their parta value. So that quiescent operating point, okay. So you know that what is your quiescent operating point, that I have already discussed, that one point that is linear, okay. Then you are making the slope, okay, or the tangent at that point, so you are just considering that point only, okay. Now you can go for the perturbations for your capacitor current expressions in terms of capacitor, in terms of capacitor voltage. Basically capacitor voltage is your basically capacitor voltage is your state variable, okay. So I think you are able to understand that value, okay. So it is your expressions, okay, it is your expression, and that collected terms also be there. So you are just equating, okay. So again that dVdt is 0, basically steady state value, and finally you are considering that that variable terms, okay, only considering that variable terms, that d dash I by n minus v by r, okay. So all the, it is your DC terms, okay, it is your DC term. Then first order AC terms is there, it is your linear term, minus the second order AC terms, that is your non-linear terms, okay. So all are there. So then you are again equating that there is no DC term in left hand side, so that value will be 0. but only AC term is there. C dV dVc t dt is there, so that will be simply equal to your first order AC term, and second order term automatically 0, so we are not considering. Okay, so linearizations of the average capacitor equations is coming. That is your DC terms. Okay, 0 equal to d dash I by n minus V by R. Okay, so second order terms are small when the small signal assumptions is satisfied. Okay, the remaining first order terms are like that. So C dVc dt equal to d dash dt and d dash it by n minus Vt by R minus I into dt by n. So this is your expressions. Okay, this is the desired linearizations of your capacitor equations. Okay, so I think all of you will understand that capacitor equations, but the after linearizations of method. Okay, then you get that expression of inductor current, you are getting the expression of inductor capacitor voltage. Okay, so then same method you can apply for that. Find out the expressions of your input current. Okay, so you have that expression average equations of your input current equations, and finally you are using that perturbations at that quiescent operating point. Okay, and it is your Ig plus I cap gt equal to d plus dt into I plus it. Okay, that you have multiplied, so collected term will be like that way. So it is your DC term. Okay, DC term, then it's your AC term, then you are able to find out that DC term plus first order AC term plus second order AC term. So you just equating that DC term with your DC term, then AC term with your AC term, but this term is 0, it will be 0. Basically why it is 0? As there is no second order term in your left hand side, so it is goes to 0. Okay, then linearizations of that average input current. Okay, so DC term you will get that Ig equal to di. Okay, in second order term, small, when the small signal assumption is satisfied, the remaining the first order terms are Igt equal to d it plus idt. Okay, so finally it is coming. So it is a desired linearized input current equations. Okay, then what you have observed that after equating all those things, that you can say like the summary. Okay, so summary of your DC and small signal AC converter equations for a non-linear, non-ideal flyback converter. So what you have observed over here, so for DC equations you are getting that 0 equal to d into Vg minus d dash V by n minus d R1 into I. So that expressions you are getting from there, it is coming from inductor voltage expression. So from here you are getting that DC term. Okay, but inductor it is coming from inductor voltage expressions. Okay, it's KVL. Okay, so directly DC term you are getting from there. Then from in capacitor current expressions or capacitor current expression, you can say like that you are getting this one. Then input current. Okay, so that is DC terms. Okay, that means steady state values. Okay, so you can calculate all those things from this expression. Then small signal AC equations. Okay, so what you have observed getting from there, so it is your inductor voltage. Okay, inductor voltage expressions in terms of AC equations, all are that AC component, capping at that means they are AC component. Then capacitor current. Okay, so in terms of capacitor voltage. Okay, C dVc dt equal to like that expressions. Okay, that expression is coming from your capacitor current expressions. Okay, and your input current. So all are that example for small signal AC equations. So next time the constant equivalent circuit models. Okay, so simple thing. So from that small signal AC equivalent circuit, so in boost, buck boost and buck all are discussed. So right now the same method you can use for your flyback converter. You have that expression, so you can write down this one. So here you are getting that voltage is fixed. Okay, so there is no changing of that voltage, but it is duty is changing. But here that voltage is changing time dependent. That voltage is time dependent. Basically is a function of time, but here that voltage is not time dependent. Okay, duty may be time dependent, but voltage is not time dependent. So it is independent source voltage and it is dependent source. Basically, voltage is time dependent. It's your inductor voltage, okay, and D into R1. So total expression is that, no, DIL. So minus that one directly you are getting. So again, it's a dependent one, voltage dependent source. Okay, so function of a time. So finally, you will get that expression of current. Okay, like that manner. Then small signal AC equivalent circuit, small signal AC equivalent circuit at the capacitor node. Okay, so it's your expressions of the capacitor. So capacitor is there. Okay, so finally same thing. Its current, it is dependent current source D dash IT, basically time dependent current. So it is here D dash I cap T by N. Okay, it is dependent current source. Then it is your independent it's a independent current source. Okay, basically I dt. So I is in DC value. Then it is your capacitor current totals, or you can say IC. Okay, so capacitor voltage is your state variable. Then V cap T is there and rest of the thing. Okay, so it's the expression the circuit is coming for the capacitor current equations. So that's why you are using KVL. Okay, KCL. Okay, then small signal equivalent circuit for input current. Okay, so you'll get the expression. You have that expression of input current and replace all those values, and finally you'll get this one. Okay, so finally you'll get this expression. So current is dependent here, time dependent current. It is your steady state current. Okay. So you can combine all of them. So if you have that current expression, okay, so you have that you have combined the circuit. So small signal AC models for non-ideal 5-rack converter example. Okay, so you have that individual circuit is there. Now you can combine them. So if you combine them, so you will get that transformer. So 1 is to D and D dash is to N. Basically, it is in terms of N. Okay, so to DC transformer, this you have considered over here, ideal DC transformer. So finally you will get all those expression and combining the circuit. Okay, I think you are able to understand for the expressions for your flyback converter. Then some state phase averaging. So what you have discussed, what you have understand over here. So that's your main motivations. Okay, so I think I have already discussed the state phase averaging. Okay, still some examples are there. Okay, that I'm going to be discussed. Okay, so some I think time is completed. I think so. Oh, time is up actually. Okay, so in my tomorrow around after 4 p.m. Okay, around 4:15, I will take some class. Sorry, tomorrow 2:15 to 3:15, and then